Students, friends of BSc 6 semester, yesterday we have discussed about constants and variables. Declaration of variables we have discussed, and then the video timing was over at that time. So we'll see how the values of variables are assigned to it, that is assigning values to the variables. We all know right now that the variables represent some memory locations where the data is stored. Variables represent some memory location where the data is stored. Each variable is associated with one or two values or one or more values. Here, assigning values to the variable means process of giving values to the variable is called the assignment. Assigning, if somebody assigns a work, say a principal assigns me some different work, then the work is assigned to me. Similarly, we assign value to a variable here. Each variable is assigned with one or more values. The process of assigning the values to the variable is called as assigning the values to the variable, called as assignment. Here we are using assignment operator. Thus equal sign in usual usage we call it as equal to or equal sign. Here, with reference to C programming, we are using this as an assignment operator. This operator is used to assign the values to the variable. Let us go for syntax of the assigning value to the variable. Syntax. That is, I'll write it in a box. So here variable name, this is. Then we have this operator called as assigning operator. Then the value. To the value of the variable, and then we have delimiter called as semicolon. This is a normal, say, syntax of assigning value to the variable. Here there will be a variable names. Okay, variable name we are writing. I will give an example. This is an operator called as assigning operator. The value of that variable and the delimiter, what is called as, it terminates that assigning. Okay, so let us take some example. Before that, see, assigning value to the variable, there are two methods of assigning value to the variables. We normally follow the two different methods to assign the value to the variables. In the first method, initial values of the variables are assigned, can be assigned to variables within the declaration section, and that we have discussed it yesterday. Declaration of variables. In the second method, the initial values of the variables are assigned in executable section of a program. Assigning values to the variable in declaration, we call it as initialization. We call it as initialization. When we assign value to a variable in a C program, that too in declaration part, we call that assigning value to the variable in the declaration part is called as initialization. In initialization, that is assigning value to the variable in the declaration section or a part of a program, we call it as initialization. And when we do that, the initialization will have a variable name, an equal sign, an appropriate number here, and the data type. That is the difference, and the data type. And finally, we have a semicolon. Let me write how the values are assigned to the variable in declaration part. Well, I'm back here. Say, this is int. This is integer, it is a data type. We have to discuss this. Variable name, say x. An operator called as assigning operator, its value say 1, integer, and then we have the delimiter. This method, writing its data type, here in syntax we have not given this. We have given only variable name, operator, value, and delimiter, the semicolon. When we do that, declaration, that is assigning value to the variable in the declaration part. As I mentioned here, there are two methods of assigning value to the variable. First method, we assign the value to the variable in the declaration part, and that is known as initialization. In the declaration part or in initialization, we follow this. We write data type. This is called as data type. We'll discuss it very soon. And then variable name, it is x, equal sign, that is an operator, and the value with semicolon. Let me write another example here. Float, say sum, that is equal sign. So the value is 0.008. Sum is initialized. Its initial value is 0, and therefore it is called as initialized. During the execution, the sum may goes on changing. That's what here. That is 0, and say we write the semicolon. Okay, this is one example. Let us take another example, char. It is data type. We write its variable name ch, operator, and then a character constant here var, which is in apostrophe, para apostrophe with semicolon. So I will write one more double, say r small r equal to 0.123 something e to the power minus 3. This is scientific way of assigning the value to the variable with this. Double, char, float, integer, they are the keywords. We have already seen them. They have the one or two different meanings. We have discussed them. Now here it represents the keyword. Here it represents a data type. Very soon we'll discuss about this. Assignment of values to the variable in executable part of a C program does not include this, that is data type. It is simply like this. Say for example, x equal to 10, a semicolon, sum equals to say 300, this say semicolon, or you can write sum, if it is float, that is 300.00, semicolon, name, right, you can write it in double quote, say this, it's my name. Okay, say ch is say y, as we have done here. This way of assigning value to the variable in the executable part of a C program, and this method is the assigning value to the variable in the declaration part of the C program. There are two methods here. So this was yesterday, it was incomplete, so I thought that it's must, and I have continued now. What is called as data type? People, they get confused. Initially we were also confused about this, what is called as data type. Data type, this is T type. Here you can say, is this type of data? Yes, it is a type of data, but it is written, or it is a usual way to express a data type, not type of data, data type. Normally, in all the computer science programming languages, this is written as data type only. Data type. Data type, what we can say about this? Data types indicate the type of data held by the variable. Data types indicate the type of data variable can hold. Right? Variable should hold the data. And what are the types of data that are indicated where the variable can hold it? So in C language, data may be numeric, right, or data may be non-numeric. In C language, these data types are characterized in it is characterized or categorized in three different types. One, built-in type. Built-in data type. You should nothing to be confused with this word, data type. The second one, we have derived data type. Derived data type. Or data types. Third, say user, you are the user now, user defined data type. Data type. These are three different categories of data used in, or data type used in C language. This built-in data type, they are, say, basic or primitive data type. Built-in data type, this is nothing but basic or primitive data type. And here we are discussing only this. Derived data type, user defined data type, because it is not beyond the scope of C language, but it is beyond the scope of the prescribed syllabus for your semester. So we are not discussing them. Just still we can write the types of data type. So here I write, okay, data type. And built-in data type, I'll take this and write it here. That is built-in data type. Built-in data type. Just a minute. This. Okay. Built-in data type. So this is primitive. This is also called as primitive. I have written there, primitive. Okay, there are various here types. I can say character, that is CHAR, a keyword. Then we have integer data type, INT, it should be small. Then we have float, FLOAT, float. We have double, and then I'll write here the last one. There is no space. So what is called as here void, VOID, void. This is non-specific called void. Normally we use null and void. Normally we use the phrase called as null and void. Non-specific called void here. These are the different primitive data types or built-in data types in C language. We have the other, that is, I'll write it here. Okay, derived data type. And then we have here, this language is very rich for scientific purpose or technological purpose, so it has arrays, and we are not discussing this. I mentioned it is beyond our syllabus. Interested students can learn about this, arrays, pointers, right? And then what is called as functions. These are derived data types. We have user defined data types called as user defined data type. Okay, this is, that is called as numeric structure, 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 and then union. So this part, it is not there. Only this we can discuss here. So let us go for one by one with this different data types. Fine, I'll cut this portion. What is called as integer. I'll write here small int, int. This is a keyword in C language. Keyword to indicate. int is the keyword used to indicate an integer number. int is the keyword which we have discussed. What are the keywords? C tokens and other things. int is one of the keywords used to indicate here integer number. And we know yesterday we have defined integer. Any integer number is a sequence of digits without a decimal point. Without a decimal point here. Now, the range of integer, how many digits you can have, how many sequence or number of digits in a sequence you can have, it is called as word length, length of the word, length of the word. It is not word. What do you mean by length of the word? Means number of bits. Means number of bits that can be accessed for reading and writing purpose at a time by your machine processor. Now, you might have heard your computer is 8-bit computer, the old generation. Then we have 16-bit computer, then we have 64-bit computer, 128-bit computers. That gives the length of a word there. It depends upon the processor. So generation wise it has been modified. If imagine your machine is 8-bit computer, then the range of integer, this integer number, it is a sequence of digit, it is given by this 2 to the power 8 minus 1. This is less than or equal to, that is integer. I am giving an example for a 8-bit computer. Integer number, right, it is less than or equal to plus 2 to the power 8 minus 1 here. This will be equal to minus 128 less than or equal to this number, less than or equal to, that is minus 1, it is 127. This is the length of that integer or a range of an integer for 8-bit processor or 8-bit computer. If you go for the 16-bit computer, 16-bit computer, the word 16-bit computer can handle, say, integer form from -3 to 768 based on this, to plus, say, 3 to 767. We can go for 64, okay, 32, 64 and so on. So this is about the data type. It is primitive data type or built-in data type, that is integer here. Let us go for a float. Float is also a keyword used to indicate floating point number. Float. It's a keyword used, right, as a keyword. It is used as a keyword to indicate the floating point number. Floating point number is nothing but a real number. They are called as floating point. Why? The question is integer and there real. We normally use this integer and real numbers in usual usage. But here they have used float and integer. What is the meaning of float here? These float point numbers, because they contains the decimal, and see that decimal can be shifted either towards or away. So that's floating of decimal during the manipulation of that real number, and therefore it is called as floating. They are called floating point numbers because the decimal point shifted either to the left or to the right of a decimal point during the manipulation. This decimal float point numbers can be expressed either in decimal, that is fixed, or in a scientific method, scientific notation, some 11 e raised to minus 3, 11 into 10 raised to minus 3, we write 3 point, the velocity of light, we write 3 into 10 raised to 8 meter per second. Similarly, 10 raised to 8, it is written here in computer programming, that is in C in particular, in exponential form. You have used the scientific calculator, there also we write in the same fashion. The scientific notation is also called the mantissa exponent. This is about the float data type. Let's go for a double. A meaning here, a double. It should be written with lowercase only, double. Again, this is keyword. Double is the keyword used to indicate double precision of a floating point number. The precision word is associated with accuracy of the data. It is used whenever more accuracy is required in the representing floating point number. Representing a floating point number. Double value is a normal float real number value, but double float number of significant digits that are stored after the decimal point. After the decimal point is double to that of float. See this float, a word that is real float point number or real number, it stores up to the maximum 6 digits 6 digits after the decimal point. If I write this as double, it is a data type, double float, say X, right? It stores the 16 digits after the decimal point. For example, say here the number is minus 234, decimal point, and then 16 zeros, 4, say 4, say 4, say 16 zeros. Or else you can write one more example, minus say 0 decimal point, say here. 4 zeros, I got say 6 zeros here, and 1, 0, 2, 3, then 999, okay, 0, 0, 1. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. 16 digits after the decimal point, that is double 4. Whenever we require more accuracy of the data, we use this data type called as double. Float is a data type. Integer is a data type. Integer is a data type for a whole number, int we use. Float is a data type for a real number, we add double float to a number which gives the accuracy, as I have written with this example. Let us go for one more, that is char, char here written. Char is again a keyword, char. This is a keyword used to indicate character type data. It is used to indicate character type data. It is a keyword. It is used to represent character type data. Data may be a character constant or a string constant. Maybe a single character or maybe sequence of characters. The character constant may be defined as a single character enclosed within pair of apostrophe, like this. We have written somewhere in earlier example, like this, say P, say like this, a dollar sign, like this, character constant. It's a number, but still it works as a character constant, and so on. We have data type, that is character data type, then string data type. It's again sequence same as this. I will introduce to you another type of data called as backlash constant or escape sequence. This backlash, I write back, B-A-C-K slash, black slash constants. They are also called as escape sequences.